was very much attracted to Sonnedix because of how much we've done around gender diversity. And and super proud of the things that my team have contributed to that in the organisation. Obviously, we'll do more. But I'm, as you know, really passionate about social mobility.
Yeah.
And I guess I'm really interested to understand what we're going to do between us to try and really promote that in our organisation. Because my background is very much okay. I went to Oxford University and lucky enough to have a great legal career, but I'm the first person in my family to have ever gone to university. And I think it's part of my mission now. I feel like I need to encourage others to see that that we can have role models that didn't kind of just follow a very traditional
Yeah.
path, but have come from very different backgrounds. I think that's super important.
I think it is, and I think that there are people on your team, on your ESG team, that are going into schools now and are educating young people, sort of 11, 12, 13-year-olds at the right time to influence them to think about doing something different and pushing people to think about STEM subjects. So, we encourage them through that. And, you've got Beth and a couple of others who've been doing absolutely fantastic jobs. And we've got lots of others as well that are going into schools and talking to kids. And I think that if we can hook them then, we can get them attracted into coming to us as junior engineers, that are in training. They go off to college. They don't have to go to uni. They can train in an apprenticeship structure where they can do that, and then they can be working with us while they're training if we need to do that.
I agree. I think it's super interesting that people can see role models in our leadership team who kind of look like them and feel like them and sound like them, but also members of the team who aren't. So for example, from a gender perspective, you're a great advocate, and I think it's really important that that men advocate for gender diversity, and that we kind of speak out for not just our own diversity but for others as well.
Yeah, and I think
That's
being
really
being an
important.
ally is a good place to be.
Yeah,
I think I became an ally a long time ago because I've got three daughters.
yeah,
So I hear their stories all of the time, and their stories influence the way I think about diversity from a gender perspective. And I've also got lots of friends that are black or of a different ethnicity, and they influence me as well because I see the things that they do and I see how they think differently, and that thinking style brings diversity of thought into the organisation, and that for me is amazing because they challenge the way I think, and I'm one of the older people in this organisation, so I have so much to learn, and I've got so few years left to learn in a
you and me
sense. So,
both. Yeah,
I wish I was back in my 20s again, going through all of this. I think it would be amazing.
because there's so much to do. So that brings me thinking about mentoring, because we've talked before. One of the really powerful things that we were doing in my previous organisation was spotting diverse talent and actually kind of mentoring it. And I know you've talked to me about how powerful reverse mentoring's been at Sonnedix, so I'm super interested in that. I
Yeah,
would like a mentor myself, frankly,
that's not a,
from a
that
reverse
that's
mentor
absolutely not a problem.
perspective.
We provide mentorships and we also reverse mentor as well. So, and I think that for particularly for our senior team here, having some of the junior members of staff and the younger members of staff giving a different perspective and asking why we do things in different ways and why we act in the way we do and why don't we think this way. It gives you that pause for thought, and it's someone asking something very different of you. But you don't get that from your family because you tend to be in that different environment, so you feel differently about the way people question you. But lots of the younger members of the team will ask me questions about things that I don't even think about,
Yeah.
and they make suggestions to me, and I think, wow, that's amazing. Why didn't I think of that?
Yeah.
And it's just that and it's just the way they think against the way I think.
Completely.
But it does bring things different, bring a different perspective.
And it speaks to diversity of thought in our
Exactly.
organisation, which is going to be super important as we try and find new ways of doing things and problem solve, etc.
Yeah.
It's going to be so powerful. It's exciting.
It is.